Hello my friends, let's go straight to the front lines where we have some of the awesome news happening in Kaminska direction of Zaporizhia Oblast, which is very close to Dnipro River. There Ukraine has liberated the vast part of the land, kicking Russian armed forces out, but not for a single day. It was a very long operation of Ukrainian infantry and Ukrainian drones. Moreover, Ukrainian armed forces were spotted in Plavny village, so it was a very terrible mistake by Russia to extend the supply lines and basically their forces too much to the north. Ukraine, with the help of the several strikes, managed to break Russian forces into several of the groups, which led to denazification of those Russian troops. Mostly they did not withdraw from this Dacha area, they were captured. At the same time, Stepnogorsk operation was different. It was performed by Ukrainian GUR military intelligence. They landed with their vehicles towards Stepnogorsk and they pushed Russian infantry out very fast, taking control over the main spots. For example, this very important crossroad that goes across the bridge towards Kaminska. Plus, Ukraine took control over the next supply connection also from Stepnogorsk to the south. So we see one more attack vector of the Ukrainian army. So basically, the goal is evident here on this map. We may see it. It is Kaminska. Ukraine is already very close to Kaminska. The destiny of it to be deoccupied this year, I'm almost sure about this scenario because Ukraine is very serious and it took an advantage over Russia in this place, in the specific part of the front lines, but it is very important because Zaporizhia city is not that far away. So Ukrainian forces constantly press the Russian army at this hotspot, and that is how Ukraine was finally successful. It's not like some outstanding operation. No, it's the consistent job of our drone operators, of our infantry, and finally it led to some of the results. So for sure Kaminska will be deoccupied. There are several reasons for that. I want to show you the interactive map because some of you may not know the location of Kaminska. So this is Zaporizhia Oblast, southern part of it, Energodar, this is Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, and here we have the direction of the Ukrainian successful operation. So from the geographical perspective, there is a river ongoing right south from the city that limits the Russian supply capabilities. So basically they have few roads for supplies and those roads could be controlled by Ukrainian drone army. Plus, Russians suffer with supplies not just in Kaminska, but way further. Ukraine recently captured the bridge in Vasilovka village, so it is absolutely no-go and Russia has to look for alternate connection to supply their army group in Kaminska direction, but the fact that there were no any attempts of the Russian army to counterattack tells that they are in a big problem. It means that they simply do not have resources, and yes, they operate with the drones, but Ukrainian army does it as well, and does it better. Also, if we zoom out from the place, you see how many of the trucks Ukrainian army hit recently. As average, now it is 40 trucks per day. The bridges were cut from Crimea, so supplies are not that possible as before. Yeah, Russia sometimes put pontoon bridges, but they're just temporary and their trucks are being hit constantly. Or they might try to use the road R280 from Taganrog to Zaporizhia region, Kherson and also Crimea, but the trucks are under attack there as well. So the word supply crisis is definitely very strong for Russia right now because they suffer on the long run and in the middle range plus close perspective. The Ukrainian drone army managed to create the several line offensive forces with different types of the drones, starting from standard FPV and finishing with the long-range attacks on Russian logistics, Russian military bases, command headquarters, and all of that influences the situation on the front lines. And for this reason, even the United States officials are saying that Ukraine has an advantage on the front lines already. I think it was a deputy of the Secretary of State who mentioned that 2 days ago. And he is absolutely correct. The Ukrainian army is winning it in a middle-term perspective. So Ukraine has half a year to use this advantage in the drone technologies. My friends, just a usual reminder, but it is very important for the channel. Press your like to this video just right now while you're watching it. And also subscribe for the channel if you can. It is for free. But if you want and if you can, you may support my job on Patreon. The link for it is in the video description right below, or join membership of YouTube channel by pressing button join. You're awesome, you are amazing. Thank you so much guys, and let's continue with the video. Meanwhile, Russians themselves are telling not a good story for them because Ukraine definitely went to Plavny, and here they show even one more arrow from Plavny, which is very, very close to Kaminska, and one more arrow directly in Kaminska. Well, that's the intention of the Ukrainian army to advance from two of the sides, but just for you to understand, Ukraine has way less resources compared to the Russian army, and Russia cannot do it to Constantinfka. At least they couldn't do it for a very long time. To go to the city from two at least directions, they bogged down in Chasiv Yar, and still the part of the Chasiv Yar is not being occupied. But Ukraine managed to attack from two of the vectors with way less forces. It tells a lot about the planning of the operations in Ukrainian army. It is way better compared to the Russian one. Yeah, just for you to understand, this is the zoomed in image of this window. Yeah. Plus, Russians are saying about multiple of the Ukrainian counterattacks towards different villages, plus Mala Takmachka is still under Ukrainian full control. And the Russian military bloggers describe the situation as a very difficult for them. And now let's check out Leman direction, where Ukraine also has the counterattack, but Russians managed to get to the city. I think it was the last week, but it was just a small Russian infiltration group and they were kaputted after all. But Ukraine was more successful liberating the village of Ozerna. And this forest patch, plus Dibrova is in a gray zone altogether with Yampel before there was the Ukrainian counterattack. Well, here we may state that in this area there is no presence of the Russian troops. In the gray zones they could be. Well, here it was not colored as the gray zone because this Russian attack attempt was cancelled before. And just look at this, Russians used tanks and supply vehicles very close to the front lines. About the tanks, here we go. It was geoconfirmed, located. I wonder what kind of the tank was that. The Ukrainian Apache battalion of the 81st Air Mobile hit the tank, but they say just turtle tank. It is very hard to tell what is that, but usually it's T-62. Here we have the video itself. Several of the drones were used to kaput the tank, and finally it was kaputted. Nice job by Ukrainian drone operators. Yeah, really lots of the drones to kaput the tank, but finally it burned down. And here's the Ukrainian counterattack in Leman direction, the one I mentioned to you before. So one of the villages was liberated, which is fantastic. Ukraine simply delivers the message for the Russian army that it is not going to give Russians Leman. Of course, Ukraine will defend it as hard as possible. Well, of course, with not such crazy losses as in Bakhmut, for example. Now the strategy of Ukrainian army is different, but Ukraine does everything for Russia to stall, to bog down, and to propel very slowly. Plus, we know that Ukraine tries to minimize the use of the infantry forces, replacing them with the drones. Yeah, of course, it's very early to say about the full replacement of soldiers by drones, but in a future perspective it will be like that. And there are several of the Ukrainian corps and armies, they have lots of the ground drones. And let's return to Leman, because Ukraine was also successful in the northern part of it. So Katerinovka, Novoritka, Ukraine tries to move forward, expanding the gray zone, and this is the recent report. So 1, 2, 3 of the Ukrainian attacks, and this area went to the gray zone. It is very close to Nove and Lipove. That's one more sign that Russia is losing its advantage. Russia was really successful before in Leman direction, but what is happening now, it's in a way unbelievable. So the last year, if someone would tell me that Ukraine would gain so much ground in Leman and also Zaporizhia, I wouldn't have believed in that probably, but the realities on the front lines, now they're like that. Well, at the same time, it is early to say that Ukraine took initiative all across the front lines. There are several of the spots where Ukrainian army is definitely successful, but there are also spots where Russia put enormous reserves and resources. For example, they tried to advance now towards Dobropilya. I haven't seen so many strikes on that settlement ever. So it's their usual tactics. They demolish, flatline everything possible, and later on they send infiltration groups to take positions in ruined buildings or basements. The same tactics Russia applied towards Constantinfka direction, and Constantinfka will fall. It is now understandable, it's just a matter of time. Russian army gets to the city with their infiltration groups more and more, so it is almost impossible to stop right now. But in a long-term perspective, of course, Ukraine will deoccupy not just Constantinfka but entire territories. It will happen because of the Russian regime collapse. Well, Dobropilya, I would put more attention on this one than Constantinivka. Here I would say it's even more dangerous for entire Donbas. It's an important crossroad, A road from Alexandrovka towards Dobropilya and Kramatorsk is important, and if Russia cuts it, well, it's very bad news, but they're not moving that much with their infantry. Well, they tried to offense, for example, in Rodinsk, Russian forces were spotted, but they were flatlined by Ukrainian drones. However, 2 days ago, there were, I guess, some of the territorial gains. Yes, this is the picture from 2 days ago. 2 of the Russian attacks, which end with nothing, but here they expanded the ground, and yeah, the situation is like that. Sometimes Ukraine has to backtrack. But again, if we compare 2026 with the last year, 2025, the difference is absolutely huge. Military analyst Play for us says that the situation in Leman is stable. So basically there is the limited Ukrainian army success from the northern part and limited success not far away from Dnipro. But we are not speaking about the big Ukrainian counteroffensive operation. Just the front lines are boiling. But at the same time, then some of the Russian bloggers are saying that they went to Leman. It is also wrong. So despite countless claims of Russian success in this area and tens of videos of their flags in different parts of the city, the situation remains stable with the Ukrainian forces fully controlling the city. So basically all of the infiltration attacks failed for the Russian army. But I also want to emphasize that from Ukrainian side, nothing extraordinary is also happening. Like there is the job. I'm surprised that Ukraine boosts the activity very close to the supply roads, which are left because Russians cut this bridge towards Sloviansk. So this road is important, this road is important, this road is important. So Ukraine now works on security to provide supply. So that's why it was a counterattack towards Yampil. Well, we'll see. The situation for Leman is pretty much difficult for Ukraine more than for Russia, unfortunately, because simply Ukraine has just few of the supply line connections here, and Ukraine should keep them under control all of the time. And this compilation comes from Leman, so Russia tries to supply their military group with the help of UAZ-Bukhanka vans, and you see what is happening there. The video quality, by the way, is fantastic. So Russian Niva, Russian all-terrain vehicles, Russian UAZ, and many more. So Russia has losses day after day at the front lines and behind the front lines. Fortifications are being built, but it doesn't help Russians too much. Alright guys, in this video I just wanted to update you with the situation on the front lines, but stand by for one more video that I will record in several hours, okay? We have a heat wave. I'm here sitting without air conditions. For this reason I'm probably gonna film shorter videos, but more of them, at least 2 per day. And you are making my job possible with your kind support on Patreon. The link for my Patreon is in the video description right below, so you may support me if you can, of course, or you may join membership of YouTube channel by pressing button join. Guys, thank you so much for your kind support, and don't forget to press like to this video and subscribe for the channel. It matters a lot. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are and have a great time.